Hi everyone, good morning, at least here in Peru. I know for some of you it's definitely not good morning. Glad to see you guys here. Already saw Julia in the chat. Yay! Hi, how are you doing? I think maybe something has not really caught on with the YouTube live, just with the LinkedIn live. So I hope people find eventually their way over to this stream compared to the other one. So I hope you guys make the journey. Can you guys hear me well enough? Is everything working? Let me know. Let me know if you can't hear me so I can adjust. But yeah, we're here today for a quick recap and hi. Hey, oh, now I see you guys. Okay, hi, good morning. Hi, Jessica. Hi, Victor. Hi, LinkedIn user who I don't know. It's good to see you guys. Thank you for joining. Let's give it like 2 more minutes maybe before hopping into everything. Because there is a bit of stuff to go through. I know we've been a little bit quiet last year. One reason for that was me joining Unlock Protocol DAO as lead steward. The other reason was we did a lot of internal stuff and less stuff that's like super visible to the outside. So, and Kirsty says everything is fine. See, nice. Okay, cool. Thank you guys for joining. So yeah, trying to wrap this in today's recap and outlook 2024-25. Let's jump into it, right? What are we waiting for? Why not doing this? So maybe one thing I want you guys to have is something super important is your attendance badge. So if you want, of course, it's Unlock Protocol powered because Unlock Protocol is a super cool open source protocol that lets you own your smart contracts and you don't even need to be a programmer. Finally, we have gotten there. Took us only like how many years, right? So yeah, mint your attendance badge. It's here here with the QR code. You can do this like by scanning it with your iPhone or your Android and just getting it with your MetaMask. If you don't hold any kind of crypto on Optimism, so the badge is on Optimism, like most of Alana's NFTs are actually on Optimism, then the Unlock DAO is actually going to pay for the gas fees. So if you don't hold crypto, this is your time to shine. Well, okay. That said, let me change my view so we can I can show my screen and I can show you guys what I've prepared for today. So this is, and also let me share this in the chat with everyone if you want to have it. So this is the link to this page. If you guys want, it's also linked in the description, by the way, or it's going to be linked in the description, so all good. But yeah, this is kind of the idea. I'm using Fileverse, another really cool public funded good. So I'm using this to show you guys what you can set up, right? And here's also the attendance badge, one more time linked. The attendance badge is only available until, I want to say, my time evening, so 9 hours longer. This is when the attendance badge is over. So get it now. Get your attendance badge now. All right, let's jump into it. So there is a little bit of like a hello and a summary from my heart. So I'm trying to summarize the summary, okay? So as you guys know, Alana came to be as a personal project of mine. Super excited, obviously, to see how it has grown and that more people started to become interested in Alana. For those who don't know, Alana is mainly an educational project, but it's very closely anchored into creativity, right? And creative projects, because I personally believe I've been now part of the Web3 space for about 5-6-ish years. God, so long. It's been so long. And I believe creativity is still something that's very lacking here. In the sense of creativity that's not just anchored in engineering, right? Creativity that looks more at a user and what a user might need. to be very precise about it. So anyway, ALANA started nonetheless as a very single individual project of mine, and then it grew into something really special over the years, and thanks to many contributors who've been part of it. So thank you guys again and again and again for believing in, kind of the same things that I do, and for joining ALANA eventually. We have accomplished many things. One of the things we wanted to accomplish was that my position as the navigator or lead steward of ALANA would become obsolete. This is something we sadly haven't reached. I hope we can do it this year. Certainly working on it, I promise. So that's something that we haven't accomplished, but we have accomplished so many other things. And those are the things that I want to talk and focus today on. The stuff that we actually did as a community, and that I'm actually very, very proud of. So yeah, let's get into it. So some of you know that ALANA has been divided in, like, I want to say, two separate areas. One area is the organizational branches, consisting of strategy and infrastructure, brand identity and socials, and onboarding and community. Those are the three organizational branches. And then we have something that we call product branches. Product branches can potentially at some point generate income or revenue by themselves, right? So in relation towards each other, they cannot live without each other, the organizational branches and the product branches. So they're here to support each other, right, in a very balanced structure that we came up with. So one of the things that we have been focusing on, and strategy and infrastructure is probably the biggest talking point today. So yippee-yay, it is happening, right? It's happening. We're going to talk a lot about this stuff today, where we have focused a lot on essentially a token evaluation process, right? So when I studied at the Token Engineering Academy, essentially for 2 years, I have been also leading a working group over there. It became very apparent to me that a lot of ecosystems seem to fail that are just launching a token. So recommended by a very good friend of mine, Mark Richardson, he told me, if you want to understand this, you need to study this. You cannot just assume that you would know. So this is something that we focused on in a lot of different steps, and I'm trying to break it down for you guys so you understand also exactly what's coming this year. One thing I want to point your attention to is this here. It's a sheet that is publicly accessible where you can review current contributors, their status in the project. We only started this, just FYI, we only started this, like, I want to say Q2 last year. So still kind of freshish, this whole thing. If you feel we left you out, please let me know. And also, hi Triggs, hi Lepidope, nice to see you guys. Don't see everyone, but I'm super excited to see you guys all around. So thanks for joining. All right. So anyways, this is an open document that you can review by clicking on this link here, anchored in organizational branches. Okay, let's jump into strategy and infrastructure. So this branch is essentially responsible for a lot of strategic decisions, but also for like a lot of the proposals that are being put up that you voted on last year, mostly through polls on the Discord. Now this year, we're going to strongly focus on Snapshot. And I'm super excited to say that you guys, it's only our second proposal. So super happy to see that there was so much voter participation so far. I still hope there's going to be more. So please vote. If you're an active contributor to ALANA, you will be able to vote on this, and super important you voice your opinion. If you have any questions, go into this Discord group chat and ask. It's fine. If you doubt, and you should be allowed to ask questions, all right? Okay, that said, first up, we came up with something that we call the 10 principles of a good community. This is essentially our like regular membership NFT. So if you haven't already, oh, Lepidope, can you inform them to come to this one? I don't know what happened. It just didn't anchor into the original YouTube one, but it should show them that we are live. So I was hoping they would just click on this. But yeah, if you can like come and pick them up from over there, that would be super nice of you. Thank you. So at the beginning of 2024, Dani and I, we were talking about how can we materialize the consensus that we already have in the ALANA community. And there is a very famous designer, his name is Dieter Rams, and I want to say back in the 70s, he was a super famous designer for like German product design. And he invented something that is still true until today, which is called the 10 Principles of Good Design. So if you want to take a look, please Google it. It's super exciting, 10 Principles of Good Design. So we used those principles as a base to align it with the 10 principles that we think or that we thought as a team would make sense to represent a good community, right? What does a good community consist of? So this is what we came up with. If you want to mint it, it's a free mint. So please go ahead, mint it. It's absolutely free. Again, powered by Unlock Protocol. Oh, once again, good morning. Good you made it to this stream. Thank you for joining. Just trying to figure. No, I did not. Too bad. I thought I put this maybe also up as a QR code, but I didn't. But you will find the link in the sheet as well, which is going to be linked in the description of the recording. So all is good, all is fine. You can still mint your ALANA manifesto. Of course, only mint it if you agree to those 10 principles. We had a soft poll last year about it on the Discord, in which many of you participated and said, yeah, that's actually very, like, it should be common sense, but well, we know common sense is not always the ruling force in everything. So it was nice to see that you guys agreed. That was one of the first things we worked on. And this is, after we did this, we had somewhat more clarity of like entering the token engineering and token evaluation process. So this is something that we spent a huge portion as a team on in 2024. With me, Lutra and Graysdale were some of the people who took part in the Token Engineering Academy and graduated from there. And so we used essentially their system as a base. Now, their system is based on launching a token in relation to an AMM. So most of what we got taught was in relation to creating an automated market maker. An automated market maker is the underlying machine for example, for an exchange, right? Or for like a decentralized exchange, for example. So it's not exactly the same as a community, isn't it? So we had to kind of like go through that process, but also I want to say invent new routes on the way of going through that process, which has been, I think the guys can agree with me, which has been very exciting, but also super challenging at the same time. So it was not just one over the other, it was a little bit of both. So we followed something that I also want to share. We followed Maddie's tokenomics design canvas. Super cool notion that Maddie put together on the entire process of token engineering. So if you guys are interested in this, this is also linked in there and you can take a look. And you can take a look here is essentially where we have been following this process. We are currently, let's say we're actually done with this. I should probably mark this green. And we are now on this one, which is the supply policy. And this is also what the recent snapshot vote was all about, because it's entering this new step and actually finding out how much initial distribution we're supposed to factor in and to whom. So there is that happening. So if at any point also within this year, because we're planning to do the launch probably in Q3, so there's still a lot of time, There's never a lot of time, but there's still some time until that is going to happen. So if at any time you're curious about how it's been going, right, this is probably the sheet where you could take a look. Now it gets a little bit more exciting, at least visually, where it's all about the stakeholders in the ALANA ecosystem, right? And this is where Dani came in, another contributor in ALANA. And also Astro Porcelain helped with this. Actually, a lot of people in this team helped with this. Alutra, Grayscale, obviously myself. kind of going in and thoroughly going through the actual roles that exist and actual active roles in the Alana ecosystem. So we had, graphically speaking, we had a wider look at the entire ecosystem. So this is like our, like wider ecosystem thing. Then we took another look, and I think I'm trying to make this a little bit bigger so you guys can see this. So here you can see it's like, where are we situated as the ALANA project, right? And we're sitting between a Web3 movement, the Web3 creator economy, and I want to say, very generally speaking, digital artists. We do have other people, so just because I did not mention you doesn't mean you don't exist. You do exist also in Alana, right? We do have other people, but we were looking like more closely at the majority of people in here, right? Doesn't mean that we don't have just crypto curious people who enjoy, the arts, right? We have creative people who are still finding their way on like which tools to use to express themselves. We have fashion designers, we have illustrators, we have 3D artists, we have AI artists. We also have developers. We have just supporters who think Alana has great values. So it is quite a complex ecosystem, but we try to look at this from a more macro perspective. This is how we came out with this graphic specifically. All right, let me go to the next one. So this graphic is more about what exists in Alana, right? Like facing the outside, and what are we using from the outside. So this is like literally the, you're not quite in heaven, you're not quite in the underworld, you're in this in-between zone. This is what this is. So to the outside facing are the product branches, right? The organizational branches are not necessarily very visible to the outside world, unless I'm doing this here once a year, and I should probably do it more often. We have talked about this, I know. Then it becomes more obvious. So we have here the Token Engineering Academy. We believe in the principles that we learned with them. We have Fileverse, love this tool. We used to use NiftyKit, but actually stopped. Unlock Protocol, obviously replacing all of this in a much more sensible way. We're looking at using AR Drive because Darkblock just sunsetted. Very sad about this. We're using DWork. We have used Gelato in the past. We will keep using Boson Protocol. 010 is still being used in relation to the magazine, but we are looking at other partners. Also, for everyone out there looking at this, not very familiar, we're looking for a reliable media partner and for a reliable sales partner. So if anyone has an idea about those two, please ring the bell. Please ring the bell. So that said, this is a little bit of the internal structure. Like I told you, currently we still have kind of a steep hierarchy. Steep, it's probably completely over-exaggerated, but we still have me on top. I know everything, right? Eventually, I want to have this position be removed and just have essentially the Nucleus Guardians as a council in place who works in collaboration, not in a top-down manner. I think everyone knows this though, with Nucleus specialists and apprentices. So this is the internal structure. And then we have, let's go a little bit further. So this is all about the stakeholders in the system, the role design. Again, if you want to view the entire process and all the thoughts that went into this, look at this document, because here you will find every role meticulously divided in why and how, and what do they expect in our opinion. Super happy to also hear feedback about it. But yeah, a lot of thought went into this. So if you want to check it out, it's linked. That's it. Let's move on. We already wasted 20 minutes. Okay, so something that happened during the onboarding and value accrual analyzation phase was that Lutra came up with a super cool name for the more like dedicated roles, the Nucleus roles in Alana, which is the stairway to core. So if you can see here, this is the onboarding flow and value accrual for new joiners, right? So it's very like low profile. people who are just like curious and they're joining and they're listening in and they show up maybe to a meeting, but also just roam the chats. That is what this graphic resembles, right? And then we have this, and now you can maybe see why it was coined by Lutra Stairway to Core, because if the nucleus guardian is like the core, right? Then this is like the ladder that leads to it. On the bottom side, you can see all the benefits that people can receive for being in that role. Some of them are not yet in place, but as I told you, we're working on getting them in place. Then the next thing that I thought was like the most fun thing last year actually also originated from, I want to say, a Soviet scribble from Lutar, kind of like understanding how are the life cycle patterns within the ALANA project, right? And how do different layers of the ALANA project communicate with each other in a tokenomic system. And so, well, he had like this scribble graphic, and I turned it eventually into this semicircular graphic. And Smug came up with the name, the avocado model. So now we also have a food model, which I'm super proud of. I was always hoping we would get to a food model. So here we are, we have a food model. That's exciting, I think. So what the food model does, or the avocado model, is it builds out, it showcases essentially the three different layers that are continuously interacting with each other in ALANA, right? There is at the center, so the seed is the financial layer. The purple layer is kind of like the meat, which is the governance layer. And the outer layer, the shell, is the product layer. So all of these three things, voluntary or involuntarily, will feed back into the ALANA DAO treasury, right? And therefore enjoy redistribution among these three different layers, which is pretty exciting, I think. But yeah, this is a little avocado. Thank you for sharing. It's super cute. Let me show this. Is it avocado? Oh, it doesn't show. I'm sorry. Oh, that's a bummer. It was a cute little avocado model. Ah, I'm sorry it doesn't show on stream. It's so cute. Thank you, guys. So yeah, this is something that we have put some meticulous work in setting up. It still needs, obviously, the real world translation, but like thinking these things through really helps to spark conversation among what is working, what's maybe not working so well, right? And even thinking about these things helps you to understand if this is something that's helpful towards your community, or if it's just like, mind trash, right? So very nice to do these things and do it in the group that I had the pleasure of doing this with. So thank you guys again and again. Another thing that came then after was like, okay, if we want to give incentives, right? How do these incentives look? And like I told you, at ALANA, we used to use D-work, actually quite from the beginning. But the problem with D-work, as I found out, is more and more, or less and less people started using it. And I was confused I was like, why is no one using this tool? Why would no one want to have points that eventually get translated to a token, but then they keep contributing? So what I found out was quite sad. The reason why people stopped actually putting in their work on D-work was because they were confused about the points they were supposed to give themselves. So Lutra, Grayscale, myself, a little bit also Dani, went in and did major work on something that we call the ALANA contribution calculator. And no worries, we're going to make this look nice, okay? You will not have to deal with this ginormous Excel sheet, I promise. I promise. But if you want to take a look, nonetheless, because we will put this up also for voting next week, then you can take a look. So this is essentially trying to figure out what type of tasks do exist in every branch of ALANA, where it exists, right? So it gets like, it gets a location, right? Doing a small task description, the tools that are probably required, and then follows kind of a semi-complex formula between reach, impact on organizational level, impact on customer level, battery life bar. So not the hours you're spending on a task, right? Because that can look very, very different. but how much does this drain your battery, your daily battery? If in the morning it's 100%, right? And then you spend 10 minutes on like something for Alana, how much does this drain your battery? That's kind of the number we're looking for. Then there is alignment and quality control, and then you get an interim result, right? And then there is something else, which is not so important for most tasks. As you can see, it stays for most tasks the same value. If a task gets repeated over and over and over again in the same manner, then this takes into effect. But for most tasks, that's actually not true. It's not an over and over and same, kind of routine, if that makes sense. So anyway, take a look. It's been very intense work on this one. So you're welcome to question and to doubt, but just know a lot of thought went into making this a balanced version of a potential contribution calculator. So again, this sheet is meant to give a baseline. So what we want to do after this has been hopefully positively voted on is we want to translate it for you guys into templates on DWork that you can use. And then we hope it will be much, much easier because there will be a preliminary point already in there, point amount, right? And that will eventually be translated to the Alana token. So yeah, I just hope like this helps and you guys find this useful, and give it a thorough look if you will. Something else we worked on last year. Oh, I'm like, oh, the link is missing. Damn it. Let me get you guys the link. I know some of you are like also active in other DAOs, not just Alana, and Alana is still, I want to say, on its way to being a proper DAO. I'm very like hesitant on like calling it a DAO when I'm like not super sure if this is like already 100% representing a DAO, even though I think we've been doing a good job. But yeah, either way, I just put in the chat the link to the form. If you're already working in a DAO, please help us serving DAOs, right? If you're part of another DAO, please do it too. This report that eventually results from it, we're right now at 30 submissions, and we think to make this somewhat representative, we need 70 submissions more. It would be just great if you could help with this, because we want to make a publicly accessible report from this. So you guys will also benefit from the data that we find out through this report. So really, really appealing to your good gracious to spread the word and help us get more eyes on this to make this a thorough study instead of just like a nice side project, if that makes sense. All right. It was also last year that we went into our first grant season. So we applied for, unsuccessfully, I have to say, we were not let into this round, for a token engineering grant with Gitcoin. We received feedback, but it was not helpful at all because they told us we know what we're talking about, but they wouldn't let us in anyway. So I wish I tried to get more feedback so we know what we should do for next time. But yeah, no way. We were not given any more feedback, which is kind of sad, because I understand that you're not being necessarily let into something, but then it would be nice if people were to tell you why exactly. So yeah, sadly that didn't happen, but we were super excited that we were actually let in and also voted up by you guys in the artisan round. So thank you for this. Today is actually the last day. So if you feel like it would be super cool if you were to support us. Totally understood if not. Just know if you're supporting us and you get the digital only edition of the ALANAmagazine Air, this is when we will actually send you a physical edition, no matter where you live, free to your home. So it would be super cool to have you guys on board for this. Not so different from Kickstarter, to be honest. So yeah, that's that. That's that. All right. Let me jump to the next big thing. The next big thing is something that specifically Lutra and I have worked on. which is the metaphorical article series. So if you haven't seen this one yet, I can only, obviously, super biased. It's free, it's open, but then you ask me, what's different about it, right? Like, why would I subscribe to this and not, let's say, I don't know, CoinDesk or like Z16 crypto or whatever, right? Or Bankless Academy. It's because we actually created these articles specifically for creators. So that means that all of them, I think with an exception for two where it really didn't make much sense, we have been comparing essentially complex parts of, elements of blockchain technology with, for example, how a fashion show works, right? So when you go to the Blockchain Explained article, then we're essentially saying, hey, just imagine the blockchain as a fashion show, right? So how would a fashion show work? And then you have the runway represents the blockchain, right? Where the models, blocks, are lined up in the specific order. So we're trying to use metaphors to make blockchain and its various complex vocabulary and intricate systems more tangible, more obvious to people. And you can collect every, so sad no one's ever collecting these things, even though I know people are reading them, but you can also just collect them. They're technically free articles and they're cute NFTs. So ranked 17 on Artisan. Oh, guys, thank you. We're jumping up the ladder in the last few hours. So thank you so much. Actually, there is an additional reward for the project that sells the most artifacts in the last hours. So yay! This is great news. So yeah, only can highly recommend. Obviously, if you haven't yet subscribed to the ALANA Project Mirror page, then maybe now is the time to do it. Lutra and I are really working hard to make the articles be published like on a regular basis. So yeah, hope you can join. The other thing is that we do have a news flash, right? We do have a newsletter. So if you guys feel like you want to understand more about Web3, about how blockchain works, about what's going on in ALANA, promise we're not spamming. So we're keeping this low to one newsletter every 2 weeks to keep it really easy for people, because I know from personal experience how it can feel if you get spammed by too much information. You start just deleting whatever's coming in. So we're really trying to not do that to you guys. And the last element that we want to build out this year even further are the free webinars. Our last webinar last year was with Topsh from Grow the Pie. Super successful, teaching you guys about how to perform decentralized finance on layer 2 blockchains. So got a ton of good feedback from you guys, and I hope that we can build this out so you can benefit from all of these things as well. Well, that's it. My goodness, maybe it's all too much, guys. Maybe it's all too much. Already half an hour over, so I'm trying to keep this under an hour, just so you know. All right, onboarding and community is the second organizational branch in ALANA. So we have essentially done 3 major things in that area, I believe. We have highly improved Discord security measures. So Smug and we reorganized the Discord hours and hours, right? We fortified the channel against bots and scam activity. So honestly, it's like I haven't even seen anyone successfully coming in. They're usually blocked, like immediately after coming in, they're being blocked and kicked and banned, So that's really good news. So saying that our Discord channel is super secure, specifically for noobs, I think super mandatory. Also, you can freely decide which branches you want to join and observe. So we are not gating anything. You go into the Discord, you go through the onboarding process, and then you find a channel that says join the community. In this channel, you can freely choose the initiatives you want to join. This is how you can do it. And then I get a note, right, saying that someone joined, so I can reach out to you or ask if you need any help, but it's very open. So if you want to become a contributor, this is a good way. And I can assure you, the Discord is like Fort Knox in there. So yay, that's really cool. We also have a brand new Telegram channel for Alana. We opened this. I want to say we opened this actually a few months ago, but only started to invite people to it. I want to say since like 2.5 weeks ago. First of all, because of some security that we wanted to have in place before. I don't know if the one we have now is super annoying, but it's something that keeps people safe from malicious links, etc. So maybe it's worth a little bit of annoyance. The other part is that we co-launched it with the ALANAmagazine cover competition. But I will go to this in a second, because this is actually a very exciting topic. If you want to join, you can join. All right. So that's the second one. And the third one is something I'm super proud of. It's an initiative led by Elan Denis. She established in 2024 the ALANAmagazine podcast and has been hosting it since. We had some, I want to say, some challenges in the beginning to really figure out how to do it, how long it should run, who to invite. Generally speaking, everyone is invited who is a former contributor to the Earth edition of ALANAmagazine. So if we haven't contacted you yet, we're super happy for you to reach out to Elan and ask if she has a slot for you, right? It's a chance for you to have a public appearance, to showcase also your current work. So this is not just about showing what you have contributed to the ALANAmagazine. It's also about giving creators an open platform on which they can present their current work, right? So yeah, please reach out. The next episode is actually coming up with Jessica James. So super happy she's actually here. It's happening on the 30th. So turn your notifications on and then stay tuned on which channel it actually lands. But yeah, that's the next episode that Elan is hosting. Super excited for this one. The last organizational brand and its branch and its updates is brand identity and socials. So this is being led by Nucleus Guardian Kirsty Malloy, and she's been doing a fantastic job at organizing all of this. Lepidope is also part of this team. Gleiv is part of this team. Schmendrick, who I don't know if he could make it today or not, is part of this team. And in brand identity, we do a lot of like brand identity kit maintenance. So the sigh emoji came into place because I don't know if you saw, but Instagram decided to change the grid layout. I could cry. I could just cry because it means that we have to take another turn at maintaining the media kit or the brand identity kit. So that's, well, a bummer a little bit. Although adaptations shouldn't be too hard to make, but you know, extra work is extra work. Then we've been working very actively at the ALANAmagazine website. So I'm going to show you guys this here too. This is something that Toby helped us to set up, and I think he did a fantastic job at helping us with this, making this look pretty exciting, clean, and nice. So if you haven't seen it yet, please check it out. This is the ALANAmagazine page. So this is something we have worked on. Also, we have worked on the cover competition page. So if you're wondering where can you find that page, so you go to the normal alanamagazine.xyz page, then get involved, and under here you find the Air Edition cover competition. And so I really recommend, please read, because we will only accept submissions that are air related. The theme is air, so make sure that whatever you hand in actually has somewhat of a relation with air, adheres to the aspect ratio, the resolution, the file format. Please make sure to read, because otherwise we might not even consider you, even though you would have had the chance to adapt your submission to the right measurements and stuff like this. So please make sure to read that. If you can, put in your Twitter handle, your Instagram handle. It's not mandatory, but obviously it will help us in reaching out to you or even communicating that you won the cover competition, right? So there's that. All right. So that has happened. We're also planning the complete overhaul of the Alana magazine, of the Alana website. So currently the ALANA Project.xyz is hosted here. It's very mobile friendly, right? So that is nice. But obviously, since I have known Toby, I know we can do much better. And so we've been designing within the team a prototype on Figma to actually bring a much more exciting onboarding experience also to you guys. A much easier and exciting, I should say, both, promise both. Social media growth, like I told you, we have not been focusing majorly on like everything that faces to the outside last year. That will change in 2025. But still there was growth specifically on the email subscriptions. So that was really good to see, especially with, information like from TikTok maybe getting banned and things like this, right? The problem with closed platforms is always the same. You don't really own your account. So if they decide to sunset or shut down, your account does too. So we've been also putting more efforts in being present on Farcaster, which we think is a pretty cool platform. If you guys don't have an invite yet, poke me and I will send you one, no problem. Generally, the platform is open, but asks for a small fee, so your storage can be guaranteed of whatever you're posting. All right, let's finally get into the exciting area of things, which is the product branches. I know this is like so much more exciting for most people because this is where the more tangible part of the creativity is housed. So as I told you, ALANAmagazine has been doing quite well. I'm super proud of everyone who's been helping with the magazine, who was part of the last edition, who will be part of the new edition. The new edition will be, I would say, even richer in content and much more diverse. So yeah, very much looking forward. Thinking about the curation really makes me smile. So the Earth edition was launched last year successful. It was our first launch. Super exciting. Not gonna lie, many obstacles in our way we had to conquer. I'm proud we did, but using new technologies is never easy. So there was definitely some stuff. When we got into curating the next edition, which is the Air edition, we also created for the first time, I think, a very thorough media kit. Big credits for this go to, I want to say, Astro Porcelain, to Delia, of course, to the rest of the team, like Habo, to Elan. And newly joined, we have been for the next edition by the women from Orbeline. So super excited to have them on board. Ultra Sharp, aka Lauren Catcher, also decided to be a curator of one of the AI editorials, fashion editorials. So super excited for this. And yeah, as I told you, the cover competition has already been launched. So you can take part in this. We will also extend the deadline. Ignore the deadline, stupid deadline, we know. But we want to make that deadline end with the deadline for the editorial submissions. So as I mentioned briefly, we will have 4 editorials that you guys can hand into. They're curated by 4 different creators. 2 of them are entirely about AI-generated art. 2 of them are entirely about 3D fashion. So both will be equally present. And we're essentially doing something that at least I would know of has been done before. We are going to do a complete digital fashion editorial. And so if you hand in your fashion pieces and trust us with them, we are going to dress them for the dedicated environment, and we're going to professionally render them for you, essentially. So this will be still work that after the edition has been released, we're going to send you, and you can absolutely showcase also on your portfolio. I think this is exciting. I would have thought, as you know, as a younger person at least, that this is exciting. Now my brain is swamped by so many other things that I don't even know anymore what's exciting. No, just kidding. This is definitely something exciting, and I have never seen this done before. So it's definitely going to be a challenge, but I hope you guys are on board for this challenge. Another big thing that On-Click Closet and I have been working on, like a little bit in secret, I want to say a little bit in secret, is the ALANA Boutique. The ALANA Boutique is a virtual boutique that is going to be hosted partially also through Boson Protocol. And it's about digital merchandise and other goods, right? It doesn't have to be just merch. And we are literally curating this. I was debating of showing you some clay renders today, but then I was like, I kind of want to keep the surprise for a little bit later this year, because some of you know, Paridi, aka On-Click Closet, just got married last year, end of last year, and so she needs some time to settle in. And so we took a short break from working on the ALANA Boutique. Gonna resume though next week, if I understood her correctly. So super excited for that as well. But yeah, we thought maybe we keep this a surprise for a little bit later. I hope you guys are all right with this. Then ALANA AI, I also did not want to spoil too much. ALANA AI is something that Digital Monkey is working on with a strong focus. Has some help from me, from Shelpen, from Lepidope, from Vlad, but he's now very busy with his book series because that's going through the roof. So yeah, anyways, is partially still very experimental in the sense of we're trying out a lot of things. We're observing a lot of things, and like, what would the ideal version of an AI look like for a creator community, right? Where is it truly about supporting and helping a creator, or like going over the border of taking the work that they are actually excited to do? So this is something that we are in the middle of figuring out by experimenting with a lot of things. But I hope I can be so bold, Digital Monkey. You will quiet me down if I can't be. But I'm pretty positive we're gonna launch a prototype this year. So yeah, another thing to be excited about. If you're interested in AI development, if you feel like you can contribute to the, like, for example, to things like training data, right? That's a huge deal for us. Then join. It's an open meeting. Everyone can technically join this meeting. So super excited to hear from you guys. And lastly, ALANA World. This is something a lot of us have been very excited about for a long time, but we had last year this point of realization where we came to understood that while a lot of us want to work on this, we don't yet have enough knowledge about how to get this actually translated without like one or two people doing all the work and everyone else just chiming in with ideas. So the idea is to launch this year a free and open Blender course to get you guys started on working frequently in Blender and potentially supporting the ALANA World project with a few contributions. So this is something that's on hold currently, but as I feel super passionate about this, this will not be on hold forever. But some other things need to be prioritized this year before this can actually get into its next round, I want to say. Currently, Jessica James is working on Alana's suit. I've continued my work on like reframing her spaceship. There's a lot of stuff going on, but again, I did not want to make this meeting or this recap longer than maybe necessary. And yeah, then it's like, I just wanted to tell you guys, like, why would you want to consider joining us, right? I can say join us for like 10,000 times. It doesn't mean that you have a good reason to do. So if after all of what I told you, you don't think you have a good reason, let me just tell you 5 points that I think make ALANA quite unique. ALANA is a super diverse community of creators and innovators, right? People who are between creativity and technology, which I personally find the nicest spot to be at. You get access, obviously, to free educational resources and collaborative learning opportunities by contributing to the project. You also get much more exposure to blockchain-based tools just naturally by being part of ALANA. You can participate in the cutting-edge projects that we're working on, which is probably a very exciting learning opportunity, but also something that you can synthesize and apply it to your own project. That's at least what I'm hoping for. Then obviously in this whole context, start developing your own valuable skills, right? And I want to say a very nice and kind network that we have across various fields, because not all of us are from the same background. And then, there is obviously potential financial benefits that you can reap. But I want to say for most of us, that is not the core point why we have been working on Alana for quite some time now. So, but it is, of course, I understand this can be a motivation as well. And so what can you do if you want to help, right? Those two questions I thought would be nice to answer. So if you want to help, right, there's a few things you can do. You can show us with minting a free NFT, right? You can show us your alignment and that you think our values matter. So posting this link in the chat for you guys. You can subscribe to the Metaphorical Article series, right? So that's the thing. Also putting this in the chat for you guys. You can subscribe to the bi-weekly non-spammy newsflash that Lutra and I are working on. You can join the new Telegram channel, obviously. I'm spamming the chat, by the way. And if you want to go a little bit further, I want to say out of your comfort zone, because you enjoy Alana or whatever we've been working on and doing and communicating, then you could help us by getting an artifact through Artisan. So let me push this one on screen. This would be this one. If you want to support us on Artisan, then this one is the route to go, right? Super thankful if you guys find this in your heart. And I want to say the last thing is, and this is only for those of you who are very engaged, maybe also in other DAOs, that would be the deform link to even forward to your friends who might be part of other DAOs, right? Or have been working on blockchain. So it doesn't have to be you, but if you could reach out to the people that we don't know and we don't have a contact to fill out this survey, it would mean a lot. I know to specifically to, I want to say, Lutra, Grayscale, Dani, and myself, if some people were to do this. So yeah, this is it. That's all of it. And I happen to be under an hour. I'm a little bit proud of myself. I guess now is a good time to open the house for questions. Oh yeah, I'll leave this on here in case you guys want to mint today's attendance badge. Also, again, free, obviously, right? But yeah, if anyone has any questions, I guess now is the time to accept questions. I'm not sure if I see questions. I think there's some platforms that show the questions and others that don't. So let me try and enter the LinkedIn stream, because I'm not sure if I'm getting questions from LinkedIn. But yeah, if you guys have any questions at all about everything, I know it was a bit to digest, wasn't it? It was a lot, right? So I'm totally fine if you just need to let it settle down. But if there are any questions at all, let me know. I'm super happy to answer and yeah, help if there were any confusions at all on the road. No? No questions. Also, I know there is a delay, so I'm giving it a few minutes just to make sure. Maybe I should play some music. Next time we should have an Alana track that everyone can sing alongside or something like this. I feel that would be nice. Don't forget to mint your attendance badge. Powered by Unlock Protocol. I know I'm doing advertisement here, but I mean, in my defense, it's an open source, free to use protocol. So nothing I'm really getting out of it. Thanks, Stella. Great job. Okay. And it's super delayed. I'm seeing now it's super delayed for me. Okay. So you guys think it was understandable? I mean, Niels, in your defense, you knew all of what was coming. So, but thank you anyways. So I guess I'm going to look forward to all the messages from after this stream, being super confused about certain things, which is totally fine. It's totally fine to be confused about some of these things. If you want to, right, subscribe to the Alana Newsflash. It's the bi-weekly newsletter. And yeah, also we do creator features on every newsletter. So if you think it would be nice that you get hosted on that, then let me know, right? And just reach out. Like, honestly, all my DMs are open. Just reach out and let me know that you would love to be on this, and we will find a space for you. And lastly, this is the Alana Telegram. So if you want to join this one, be my guest, obviously. There's a LinkedIn user that said impressive. Okay, cool. I like impressive. And Neil said he still enjoyed the presentation. So compared to the last years, I tried something very different this year. Last year, it was more like a giant mood board because we had all of this like a visual output that we did in 2023. This year, there was just, of course, there was the magazine, right? But there was still less visual output in general, other than the diagram. So I was debating, and eventually I decided that Fileverse would be the place to be. So again, right, if you want to look through these things in calm after the live stream is over, then no problem. I'm going to link the Fileverse doc in the video description. It is already linked, I believe, but I will check. I will make sure. And yeah, otherwise just ping me. All right, guys. I guess this is it for today. I have a lovely weekend. And maybe some of you will join us for the Artisan Showdown in a little bit over an hour. It's going to be live on Twitter. So if you want to join, it would be super cool to see you around. And otherwise, happy 2025. It's going to be exciting. That's for sure. Bye-bye.